foul, by the way. I think Robinson had his toe on the line. I think he and the official are the only ones who knew that. So underway in this second quarter, Brian Anderson with Grant Hill and Steve Smith joining us. Steve will be with Candace Parker and Ro Parrish. And
this big three in Brooklyn, obviously a lot of firepower, but still a work in progress. And I'm just curious, so what needs to happen for them to really
up against a half-court offense? And Grant, we talked about in the pregame. I just want to see somebody.
The big three combining to go 3 for 14 in the first quarter. They were 0 for 5 from three-point range. And Harden just 2 field goal attempts in that first quarter. Shot clock getting late here. Vincent got to go in traffic. Iguodala, 1 extra pass, and that's going to...
But Smitty, I'm just curious, you know, all this talk in the Eastern Conference about Brooklyn, about Boston, about, you know, other teams as Milwaukee's always in the conversation, but it seems in spite of the great postseason success of the Heat, that they're kind of
find out games the way they want to because they just haven't had the personnel with all the in last 4 games. He has put up some terrific numbers. He's gone for 18, 28, 22, and 18 in his last 4 as Harris sticks a 3 of the game for the Brooklyn Nets.
That is surprising. Grant's been talking about the Brooklyn's defense, and we all know offense, and it hasn't been there. That was good for them to get a chance to knock down a 3-point shot, at least to see it go in.
So you guys are 3-point shooters. Smitty, more than you, Grant. I'm going to go ahead. He's made at least 1 3-pointer in 79 straight games. So
maybe his movement without the basketball. We know Durant can stand and go one-on-one, but if you watch him, I'd love to see him more of a Kyle Korver type, or more of a Duncan Robinson, just moving, creating offense off his movement. I don't see a lot of that.
And Smitty, that was something that you make a great point. Last year, they played that way, you know, because they didn't have the great players move without the basketball and do exactly what you're saying. But now it's a lot of standing around, and he leads the NBA with 51 made catch-and-shoot 3-pointers. That just tells you it all right there.
Perry in for a foul, doesn't get it. Steve Smith joining us here in the second quarter. Precious Achiuwa.
How many more years does he have? I mean, I'm just so impressed, B.A. and Grant, of his level of activity, his level of play still at his age.
I feel like what a great addition. Obviously not the player he once was, but so smart, in the right place at the right time. The champion in the truest form, Andre Iguodala. Now you can make Bo Outlaw a great shooter. And so, you know, but, you know, that's what BA has to work with. So
you bet you love the game, too. In transition goes the Heat. Iguodala in traffic, finding an open man. Dragic, the lefty, cannot get it to go.
I was about to say, I got my money on Grant versus Charles Barkley. Any day, Chuck. Guaranteed.
Charles Barkley, around Thanksgiving, I don't know. He had his game done and become a championship team in your mind.
You know, B.A., first of all, I'll say this. Matt Cain, our producer, did a great job because that's exactly how Steve Nash used to dress out in Phoenix. Captured it perfectly.
Bam, do you look?
I mean, that's big time. And I look at this Brooklyn Nets team as, you know, defense is going to be work in progress, but I think they're definitely going to find a way to just keep rebounding the basketball, even at a higher
marks. That there may be some other moves brewing, or is it, you know, they're going to go with this team, this core of what they have, which is pretty good.
Hey, Grant, we talked about it. We talked about a 3-and-D guy. I also think if it's there a 5-and-D guy, I would love to see maybe a center that's actively defensively. I know that's a lot to ask for, but that's able to shoot threes and also stretch the court a little bit for them. Do the dirty work, set picks, set screens, make the game a little ugly, because all those guys, you don't want Durant jump way higher than me, so he can speak about, you know, guys elevating above the rim. But I would love, Grant, just to see they have another dirty work guy.
I agree.
Okay. Whoa. Well, there's been a few under-the-rim candidates tonight, Steve Smith. There's been a lot of lobs as well with Jordan and Adebayo. Here's Kyrie Irving on the pull-up. Can't get it to go. It's because you look at this Brooklyn team offensively versus their defense. Smitty, you're talking about getting moving in transition a little more with Brooklyn as Jordan with it.
You're so correct, but I do remember watching Grant Hill, Steve Nash, and Amari Starr. Guys made it. They got the ball out of the basket, BA, and pushed. It put so much pressure on the defense. Because I'm just looking at, like, as we see Durant with a nice little dunk down the court and Kyrie is sprint down the court. You take a lot of eyes with you. I think that creates a lot of open space for themselves and others.
Yeah, great point.